Have you ever finished a conversation and then continued having it in your mind for the next 3 hours? You replay what the other person said. You examine their tone. You think of the response you should have given. Then you start preparing for what you would say if the subject comes up again. The actual conversation may have ended, but your mind refuses to leave the room. If that happens to you, it does not necessarily mean that you're weak, overly sensitive, or incapable of letting things go. Your mind may be trying to protect you by finding certainty in a situation that feels unresolved. The problem is that protection can become a loop. I'm Dr. Christopher Blair, and in my book, Overthinking Rescue, I explained that overthinking often begins with an understandable intention. We want to prevent harm, protect a relationship, preserve our reputation, or make sure we do not repeat a mistake. The mind believes that if it reviews the conversation one more time, it will finally discover the detail that makes everything feel safe. But one more review becomes another, and then another. I know that pattern personally. During difficult periods in my life and career, I could leave a meeting knowing that I had prepared carefully and handled the situation responsibly. But later, I will replay what I said and search people's expressions for evidence that I had made a mistake. Did they misunderstand me? Did I say too much? Did I not say enough? Were they judging my decision or judging me? At that time, I called that preparation and responsibility. Sometimes it was, but other times it was overthinking dressed in professional clothing. Here is one way to recognize the difference. Useful reflection eventually produces information, a decision, or an action. A mental loop helps repeat the same material without giving you anything new. The loop often contains 3 different things that become blended together: facts, interpretations, and imagined outcomes. The facts might be, the conversation ended sooner than I expected. The interpretation might be, they were upset with me. The imagined outcome might be, this relationship is damaged, or this person would tell others something negative about me. Only the first statement is something you actually know. The other 2 may be possible, but they have not been established as true. When the mind combines all 3, a possibility can begin to feel like a fact. The body may respond as if the imagined outcome is actually already happened. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, your breathing changes, you feel restless or keyed up. Then the mind notices those sensations and says, see, something must be wrong. Now the thought activates the body, and the activated body gives the thought more urgency. That is how a loop begins reinforcing itself. First, do not try to force your mind to become silent. Telling yourself, stop thinking about it, can create another argument inside your head. Instead, name what is happening without judging yourself. You might say, I am replaying the conversation. I'm searching for certainty. I'm preparing an answer for a conversation that is not happening right now. That is the first part of what I call the 60-second stop, sign, reset. The second part is to steady your attention in the present. Notice your feet against the floor, the chair supporting you, or an object you can see or touch. Release your jaw or shoulders. If that feels comfortable, notice one natural breath without forcing yourself to calm down. You are not pretending the conversation did not matter. You're reminding your body that the conversation is not happening at this exact moment. Then ask yourself 3 questions. What do I actually know? What meaning have I added? What is one useful next step? Perhaps the next step is asking the person for clarification. Perhaps it is writing down one concern and addressing it tomorrow. Perhaps it is deciding that no response is needed. And sometimes the next useful step is allowing the conversation to remain unfinished for tonight. It can be difficult because overthinking promises that resolution is only one more thought away. But peace does not always come from finding a perfect explanation. Sometimes peace begins when you stop demanding an answer that is not currently available. The goal is not to become someone who never replays a conversation. The goal is to recognize when reflection has stopped serving you and repetition has taken over. Remember this sequence. Notice the loop, steady yourself in the present, choose one useful next step, then return to the life that is actually in front of you. Your mind may continue talking, but you do not have to follow every sentence. If this message helped you recognize one of your own mental loops, subscribe to the channel and share in the comments. What kind of conversation is hardest for you to let go? Work, family, relationships, or conflict? And if you want the complete system for interrupting repetitive thinking, you can find Overthinking Rescue through the link in the description. Until next time, remember, you do not have to solve your entire life tonight. Sometimes you only need to stop the loop and choose the next useful step.